Virginia students use TestNav to take their SOLs. This short video will provide a brief orientation of that resource and how to access it. The resource can be accessed through the Virginia Department of Education website, and it also can be embedded as a link in a school website. At Metz Middle School, it's under Student Resources. Here at TestNav 8 Simulation. This will take us to the TestNav 8 online simulation. You'll notice it asks for a username and password, just as it would if students were taking the SOL. In this case, that does not need to be entered. However, we can test audio here to make sure that our students' computers are prepared. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my mute and test the audio. So you'll see that the audio works. And then I can click on the SOL practice items if I want to get used to the environment in which the students will be taking the test. In this case, you'll notice that I have access to many different subject areas. This is because some subject areas have additional resources that can be used in the exam, and this gives students a chance to view those before the testing situation occurs. In this case, we're going to go to reading, and you'll notice we can go to mainstream or we can go to audio. This session has the same resources as audio, but it will look different because audio is set up for students who have an accommodation that provides for an audio setting for their test. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to go over the resources that are available in both scenarios. So we're going to go ahead and access an audio session. I'm going to go ahead and go to grade 8 reading for audio. We're going to click start, and then it's going to ask us to agree to the terms and conditions. This verifies to let us know that the questions are not on level, and also there are a couple other things as well. But the important thing to let students know is that this is not on level. So if students feel as if they are doing well, keep in mind that it's usually 2 or 3 grade levels behind what they will see on the SOL. So we're going to start by giving a general overview of this setting. You'll notice that I can go up to the upper right-hand corner and I can do some things. I can change the background and the foreground color. So in this case, I'm going to make it black on cream, and you'll notice it changes the image. I'm going to go ahead and change it again. We'll try yellow on blue. So students have an opportunity to customize their testing experience. We'll click on the blue button and we'll go to some passages. And you'll notice I have access to both passages here. And then if I click on it again, now I get my first question here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show one of the other options students have. In this case, I can select my answer, but I can also use test-taking strategies to eliminate some of the answers. The way that looks in TestNav is I can switch over here to Answer Eliminator, and this will allow me to cross out some answers. When I'm ready to take my educated guess or make the correct answer, I'm going to go ahead and click back on pointer, and I can choose, I think the answer is C, but it's important that students click back over. If they don't, if they're still at Answer Eliminator, if they want to choose C, what it will do is it'll again cross out the answer. So if I click again, that'll get rid of the answer elimination. I can click on the pointer and then select C for my answer. The other thing to keep in mind is students can bookmark their questions for later. So if I'm not sure and I want to come back, I can bookmark it. And then when I go to the review screen, it'll show me, here are the questions. Here are the questions that I have not seen yet. Question 1 I have seen, but I've bookmarked it, and I see here I have this blue marking, and I can click on it to go back to question 1 later. You'll also notice there are 24 questions, 23 are not answered, and 1 is bookmarked. When I'm ready to proceed, I can click the blue button, and that will take me to the next question. The other thing that I can do in terms of mirroring good test-taking strategies here in TestNav is I can come back to the user drop-down menu and I can click on Show Line Reader Mask. This is unique to passages or any material where there's going to be reading involved. What the Line Reader Mask will do is it will give me a tool that I can use to mask most of the lines so I can read one line at a time. I can change the size of the mask by dragging this, and I can also change the size of the viewer by dragging this corner. So what I'm doing is I'm holding down the left mouse button and I'm dragging it with my mouse. And then, as I'm reading, I can work my way down one line at a time. The other thing I have access to is I can mask the answers using Enable Answer Masking. So you'll notice I have answers A, B, C, and D. When I click on this, it covers those. So if I read the question and I want to come up with an answer without reading the answer choices, this gives me a chance to do so. And then if I want to unhide them, I can unhide them one at a time, or I can unhide all of them. And that's up to whatever decisions I want to make as a student using best test taking strategies. Those options are available to students whether they're using the mainstream or the main testing scenario, or if they're using audio. The next three options are for audio session only. So you'll notice I can come over here to the right-hand side and there's a separate set of options. Here I can toggle those options on and off, so I can turn audio off or I can turn it back on. This allows me to play the audio. I have the sound muted, so I'll go ahead and unmute it and you can hear what it sounds like.
Native only to the Western Hemisphere, these small birds are known for their deft flying abilities.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn off the line reader, and you'll notice it highlights the text, and as it's going through the text, it tells me which word is being spoken. I can stop it and I can start it again, but it will not start where it left off. It'll start at the beginning again. The other option I have is I can change the quality and the volume of the sound. I can change the volume of the voice. I can also make it female or male, and I can change the speed as well. So you saw that that was regular sound. I'm going to go ahead and start it and then speed it up and slow it down so you can hear the difference.
Hummingbirds. Hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are one of nature's most amazing
I'm going to go ahead and
creatures.
increase.
Native only to the Western Hemisphere, these small birds
I'm
are
going to go
known
back
for
to the main
their
speed.
deft flying abilities. Deft flying abilities. They have a unique
And now I'm going to
ability
go to the
hover
slow
in
speed.
midair. Deft flying abilities. They have a unique ability to hover in mid-air.
So this was an introduction to the audio tools that are available only if the student receives audio accommodations. And it was also an introduction to how to use the answer eliminator and the pointer, and how to use the environment adaptations that will allow us to change the way the exam looks to us, and also give us a chance to use different resources to engage in best test taking strategies. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to highlight text in the testing environment. So if I'm here and I decide that this phrase is very important, I'm going to go ahead and right click and it will open a window that will allow me to highlight. You'll notice I can't do that here. It's because I'm in an audio setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign out of TestNav. I'm going to go back in, reading 2017, grade 8 reading, but instead of audio, I'm going to the main setting. And here I am, passages. I'm going to hit the blue button, and that's going to move me forward. And now you'll see instead of having the pointer, I get the text cursor. This tells me that I have the highlighting ability. And I can left click and drag. And you'll notice I can change it to blue or pink. Blue, pink. And if I want to cross it out, I can cross it out. This concludes the overview and orientation for TestNav 8. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your technology specialist or your testing coordinator. Thank you.